Townsville is alive. Well, I'm more concerned about you in Townsville with a vest.
I know. It's not going to last long. It was 10 degrees this morning, which for the locals here, the lady who was welcoming in the car parks this morning, she actually had a beanie on, jacket. She looked like she's off to the snow. But the minimum here is actually warmer than the maximum from where I've come from, so I'm quite happy about that. Hey, let's go for a walk. We've got some Dunlop Series cars to weave in and out of. They're having their first practice session. We're going to be live 9:15 a.m. through to the end of the day on Fox Sports 506, so you'll be able to check out all the practice sessions for the Dunlop Series. We've got Carrera Cup 86s, we've got TCM here, beautiful old cars in TCM I know you absolutely love. And then of course we've got 2 sessions for the supercars coming up. Big event this weekend, and like you mentioned, the event vibe is already there. Yeah, 100%. And when you've got that sort of an undercard that's as stacked like it is, everyone just knows, okay, everyone's serious now. Yep.
And that's, I guess that communicates more than what you can actually put into words. It's very cool.
It's actually quite a late start today, but tomorrow things are going to happen much earlier. So we're going to be on air pretty much the whole weekend through from about 7:30 in the morning tomorrow, but 9:15 a.m. today. Like we said, got Dunlop Series cars here. Hey, big news for Aaron Seaton, who's going to be driving with his team at Bathurst. So Aaron Seaton's one of the regulars. He's a teammate to Kyle Harris in the Dunlop Series, but Aaron has scored himself for the first time ever a drive at Bathurst coming up this year. So let us know, what do you think in the comments? How excited are you to see the name Seaton back at Bathurst? That's fantastic.
I was sort of excited the other day. I was stuck on the phone. You know that awkward deal, right, where you've got the AirPods in and people don't know you're on the phone? I walked into Kmart just to get a couple of things for the weekend, and there was Glenn Seaton. He couldn't find his way around just like I could. I'm just like, how ironic is this? This is weird. And he couldn't tell I was on the phone or anything. But the Seaton surname, and then to see the 3 of them together and the history that's in that, really quite amazing. So really looking forward to that. It's a massive forecast for what's to come for the rest of the year. 2
Supercars Championships between you two, so that's a pretty stacked lineup at a Kmart.
Amazing.
For a local day. Let's go for a walk down. I want to check out Matt Payne's car here in the Grove Hire Nissan, who's heading back out front of the session. He's got the orange numbers on that car, Ben. So he's your Dunlop Series points leader. And I think that's a pretty good little microcosmic way of saying that these guys are actually having a pretty good year right now, the Grove Racing team. So they're leading the Dunlop Series, and that's also trickling onto these cars right now, the main game cars, Lee Holdsworth and Dave Reynolds. But there has been a little bit of a change here. So Dave Couchy, who was the race-winning engineer last year with Shane Van Gisbergen, he's the team boss here, team principal, but he's having to throw the old headset back on this week due to COVID, so he's going to be engineering Lee Holdsworth. So you've actually got last year's Bathurst winning driver and last year's championship winning engineer working together this week on car 10.
Yeah, that's a stacked lineup. You know how fascinated I am about team dynamic. It's probably the thing that, I guess, gets me thinking more than anything else. What will fascinate me about this weekend is what Couchy does from the point of view. Usually there's that peripheral vision where you can step back, you can just watch everyone and seeing what they're doing and ticking the boxes. This time he's going to be laser focused. Is he going to be able to see everything that's around him while still managing the team?
And the cars still have some of that look from Darwin. So come in and have a look here, because this is one of the, I don't want to say the better liveries, but all of the liveries that we saw in Darwin were just absolutely fantastic. So being NAIDOC week as well, we've been able to continue that theme here this weekend. So Lee Holdsworth's Penrite car is looking pretty cool. We've got Lee over the back here just watching how Matt Payne's going. I might grab Lee for 1 second. We're live on Facebook, brother. Good morning to you. You're watching Matt Payne out there in the Dunlop Series. Engineer change for you. Pretty cool to work with the team principal. He's an all-right engineer.
Yeah, he goes all right, old Couchy. I said if he gives me the car that he gave those boys last year, I'll do the rest. So, no, it's a shame that Will's at home, but yeah, he needs to look after his own health and his family's health with COVID. And but yeah, happy to have Couchy come on, and we'll see what we can do.
I turned the clock back 12 months ago. You were racing here in Townsville, but it was in a little 86. Totally different scenario, but you finished second in like all the races last year.
Yeah, it was good to be here last year, and I think racing anything around this track is pretty cool. Yeah, enjoyed the Toyota 86, but very happy to be back in a supercar.
Awesome, Lee. Good to see you back here, mate. Might head out the back, Benny, and see what's happening at the back of the garages right now. Give everyone a little bit of a look. BTS behind the scenes, so big news there. There's actually quite a few engineering changes up and down the pits. Ludo Lacroix has actually gone back to France to see his family. It's been a long time for Ludo, so he hasn't been back home in a long time, which means that there's an engineering change for Anton De Pasquale this week as well. We saw that in Darwin recently with Will Davison having a different engineer. So that's the second race meeting in a row that Shell V-Power Racing have had to change their engineers.
I guess that changes the dynamic. Do people get nervous about that?
You never know, because it's an unknown. You never know exactly what's going to happen when you make a fairly large change like that. But Mark Fenning is a very experienced engineer, and we saw how well he did on Will Davison's car in Darwin. That thing was lit up. It was on set that amazing quickest lap ever at Darwin. That was the engineer on that car that's now gone to Anton's car. So I think they've got a pretty good stack line up there to be able to go, okay, we're going to change engineers here and everything should be fine.
And the flip side is sometimes, even though it might feel like this is a bit awkward, sometimes you can just breathe that fresh, I guess, perspective in, where everything's changed. Exactly right. And then you sort of go, okay, well, it is what it is. And then sometimes the best attitude to have is, it is what it is, and then all of a sudden you relax and it changes everything.
Get complacent. Not that I'd ever say DJ will get complacent, but certainly a little bit of a change invigorates things, and you find little things that maybe you wouldn't have been doing the same. Hey, let's go and check out the Brad Jones Racing team. We'll see if Andre Heimgartner's around. I think I can see Bryce Ford watching the action right now. He's a winner here in the Dunlop Series. I've just been so impressed with Andre. I think a lot of people up and down the pit lane have been really impressed with how Andre's going. They're warming the car up, so I might get Bryce and bring him out here. Guys, how we doing? Come with me, Bryce. We'll have a quick chat at the back here. It's pretty loud in here. Got Bryce Ford for a wee chat this morning. You're just watching the Dunlop Series practice. Hop in the middle, brother. How are you going here, mate, this weekend? And you're looking forward to getting back on the streets of Townsville, or what?
Yeah, absolutely. I love, obviously, coming to Townsville. Been here a few years now, but it feels very much like home for me, but a little bit cooler, which is really nice. And so, yeah, obviously looking out, always watch the Dunlop Series, so it's good to see how the Matty White boys are going.
Well, singing the praises of how good Andre's been going lately, have you been able to learn much from that car and how he's going that might be able to flow into your success this week?
Yeah, definitely. The cars haven't been too far different, but it's more or less been just had to sort of click with the car. I mean, we've kind of been a session behind, I guess, Andre. Phil's learning the car and I'm learning Phil and the car as well. So it's been a little bit challenging, but I think at Darwin we kind of found a little bit of mojo and we sort of clicked with the car a little bit. So we're hoping we can roll into this weekend with, we are rolling in with a pretty similar package. So hopefully it'll work here this weekend and we can continue on and keep paving the way forward.
Nice work, Bryce. I'll let you get back to watching the Dunlop Series. Thank you, brother. Super 2 and Super 3 cars on track together. And Brad Jones Racing have Ellie Morrow racing the Dunlop Series this week, which is pretty cool.
Okay, we've got something I know that everybody's going to want to see. It's the next 10. Let's head along pit lane.
Yeah, good point.
There's a logo here that I guess, just excites me just a little bit. This logo here.
For those wondering, Benny's a bit of a bow tie boy. I'm actually surprised he doesn't rock up wearing a bow tie when he does the Facebook Lives in the morning. Can we go and have a look at Gen 3?
I don't think so. Is there any point, really? Absolutely. A lot of people around here salivating over the Camaro and the Mustang and had their first hit out actually yesterday afternoon, Chad.
Well, why that was so important, they haven't got a lot of street circuit miles to these cars yet, and a huge part of our championship in supercars is done on street circuit. So it was actually Luke Yilden driving the Chev. He's racing in the Carrera Cup this weekend, but a really experienced guy, a Bathurst winner. He's about to hop behind the wheel of the Camaro. And they did so many laps of these cars yesterday. It turned into a test session. So they weren't really demonstration laps because no one was here watching it. It was more about getting a proper street circuit test, bashing over curbs, and then trying to find the mistakes, not mistakes, but the little engineering things that they need to try and fix up for these cars to race properly next year. So from a driver's perspective, I was talking to Lounsey about it. They love it because you've been given the keys to a car and they're being told to go break it, essentially. You never get told that as a race car driver. You get told, hey, look after this thing because we need it to last 300, 500, 1,000 Ks. So they're actually being told, hey, mate, drive it as hard as you want, hit as many curbs, and tell us what you need to fix, tell us what breaks, and we'll try and fix it up for the next time it goes on track.
The last time I heard somebody say break the car was Matt Nolte with you in a rental car recently, I think.
Hitting too many curbs on our way to the racetrack, probably.
I think the thing that got me reading what Luke Yilden had to say yesterday was that we were bashing the curbs. It was a lot of fun. And I think there's something about the race fan that loves to know that the drivers are having fun. It changes the whole dynamic. We get so much of an insight into how much this is a job, how much this full on, all of the things, all the obligations that these drivers have. And I think subconsciously we get this idea sometimes that sometimes this is a bit of a chore for these guys, it's everyone's dream to go race a car, but, they get to do it every weekend and maybe the novelty wears off. When you hear a driver talking about how much fun he's having, it makes us feel like it's a lot more fun too.
Totally. And you know what? I actually had some fun with this yesterday myself. So I went down, I spent about 15 minutes, like a good chunk of time, standing at turn 1, which is a fast, flat-out corner here at Townsville, watching and hearing, more importantly, listening to these things come through there. They've got a totally different engine note to the previous cars that we see on track right now. But what I did notice watching it, apart from the hair on the back of my neck standing up, was that they weren't flat through there every single lap. Sometimes it was a lift, sometimes they were just feathering the throttle. A supercar out there with all the aero, they are easily flat through turn 1, even on old tyres. These cars yesterday were struggling to get through turn 1 here at Townsville flat. And that's a good sign that these cars are going to be a handful to drive and that you can't get it right every time, and it's going to be difficult to hit your marks, and it's going to be, from a driver's perspective, difficult to get the job done in these cars. And speaking, I've never been a race car driver, but I've been a long-time fan. Speaking as a fan's point of view,
yeah,
I love that. I want these things to be hard to drive.
Fear not, race fans, because the term "that's a new lap record," we probably won't hear that for a few years, and that's actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing because it creates much better racing, and knowing that these guys are actually having to muscle these race cars.
Would you rather see better racing or better qualifying?
Yeah, exactly right. And it's, I think we get too caught up in the numbers, we really do, and a lot of our sports do. You know, when really the quicker it is, it's probably going to be more indicative that it's actually not that good a racing and bumper to bumper. That's what we want to see, and that's what the forecast is.
Yeah, so the forecast, like you said, for Gen 3 looks really good. All right, let's head back out. We'll wrap this up with what's been a fun little walk to start the morning. But like I said, we've got loads of cool old race cars. Bit of a Vodafone theme on the Murphy car here.
Yeah.
If you just imagine a bit of pink and day-glow orange in that car, you can instantly recall that that is a 888 built car. So really looking forward to seeing some of these older cars get out on the racetrack this weekend. And then the really old cars in TCM as well. I say old, they're all pretty much brand new cars with old bodies on them, but still fabulous race cars to stand and watch. Tiranas and Camaros and Falcons and Mustangs. So looking forward to that. It's all part of a massive support category with the 86s. And then the main game, big races. Refueling is back this weekend. Super soft and hard tyres in the same races like we saw in Sydney is back this weekend. I've got a pretty good feeling that we're going for a long weekend of high action, Benny.
Yeah, absolutely. And also just continuing on that Chevrolet and old theme and getting those logos up here. Mark King this weekend, his last run in that iconic Camaro. So right across, there's really some interesting points across all of the categories this weekend.
All right, we're going to try and not get run over down here in what's a very busy pit lane with the Dunlop Series. Flick on channel 506, Fox Sports. We're not too far away from going live. 9:15 a.m. here in Queensland. We're going to be live all weekend long.